Hi, welcome to my channel.
Hey, Uncle Kenny! Football! Hey, yeah!
If you're new here, my name is Cedric. I'm an actor, a filmmaker, a screenwriter, a YouTube reactor. Blackpink is an amazing group that I've really enjoyed. And yes, I wore a pink shirt with bunnies on it that are outlined in black because it's Blackpink and they're in my area. I feel good about this choice. Blackpink is great. I think Shut Down might be one of my favorite songs I heard like in my life, but particularly last year. I love that song. So I haven't checked them out for a bit. I thought, hey, let's watch another Blackpink video. What do I watch? I thought to myself. I don't know, no one recommended anything. Well, I thought to myself, this video has almost like 2 billion views. Let's watch Kill This Love. Before we jump in, I of course want to say thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Thank you for your support as I audition and travel and write and do all the things. And thank you for your support of my career, my mission, my life. It means so much to me. Thank you, of course, to all of you who support the projects that I'm involved with. Thank you to those of you who have watched The Coroner's Assistant. Your support means so much to the whole team. We're so proud of this series and all the success that we're getting to see with it, and we hope to make more, so please continue to support, like and subscribe and watch and shout it out on social media. We're so proud of that series.
Hi friends, Cedric from June here, instead of Cedric from like February or whenever this was. Just letting you know that the first 3 episodes of The Coroner's Assistant are out and can be watched, and episode 4, the season finale, will release on July 9th, 2023. Links are in the comments and the description. Thanks for watching.
But, as long as we're talking about checking things out, let's check out Blackpink, Kill This Love. Okay, here we go. So we visited 3 very sacred sites so far. So we've got this organ, right, that we're hearing the trumpets blasting out. Again, we see an organ, we hear like trumpets. It's unexpected. So obviously caught me by surprise if you saw my reaction to it. I startle very easily. It's the usual Blackpink punchiness to it. It's a little bit more simple orchestration with this. It's pretty much just that percussive beat to it, which I love. I love that it's just that and the voices that I'm really hearing. So we see that. We see a heart that looked like it was 2 swans, a black swan and a white swan, with the sun setting behind it. So there's this feeling of love that's there, of commitment. And then we're reaching the most sacred space, being surrounded by cereal. Very important to me. I don't know what this means other than the door says heaven and there's all this cereal here, which I vibe with on a deep level. And riding around in a shopping cart, which would be a lot of fun. We're seeing 3 very different spaces, but one kind of a deeper purplish blue. Then we've got this deep orange, and now we're in a red and pink area. So we're kind of sticking on this red to purple color scale that we can have. So pink, purple falling within that, orange falling within that. We're seeing this similar color. You can see that, again, I don't know their names yet, and I apologize for that. But whoever's in the shopping cart here has blue in her hair, blue jeans. So blue is with the red making the purple. So we're seeing a cohesion in the colors themselves. There's pops of blue all over, actually, now that I'm really looking at it. So I'm intrigued by what this means. Let's go back about 10 seconds. Oh, I didn't notice this too. When she says I'm a slave to my emotions, her hands are crossed, almost like they're shackled together. A lot of different costumes going on here. I'm very intrigued by the whole design. Again, sacred imagery here.
흐르게 된다면 섭섭 누가 you are 어떻게 나약한 나에 견딜 수 없어 사랑을
What a great voice.
사랑의 손목에 끝나야겠어 Let's kill this love Yeah 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 yeah
Hey! Okay, they're so good. The image with the orange circle behind her and she's like barely moving. Again, a lot of sacred imagery here. Almost a sacrificial image with the one that's in the road and then the other car driving up on her. Very aggressive, sacred imagery with it, right? There's almost a sacrificial lamb type feeling. Now that I think about it, the song is called Kill This Love, so the swans which mate for life. There's a juxtaposing of these images of destroying cereal, which kind of makes us all think of childhood. Happiness, anger, existing in the same space, aggression, punching at each other. You know, the setting sun over water. Contrast that with where the swans are right on the beach with what I assume to be a beach with an ocean behind them. They're tying these images together really, really well.
One thing I think I maybe didn't quite piece together, and maybe I did because I'm still editing the reaction, but one thing I think maybe I didn't piece together was the different varieties, I guess, of potential toxic love. So, you know, one of them is driving toward herself and hits herself with the car. And there's this idea of escaping from oneself or setting oneself free or whatever that looks like. And then there can be the toxicity of religion, for example, with the sacred symbolism that exists. And then there's the toxicity of, you know, the love of corporatism and of consumerism that could be found within the destroying of the cereal boxes. And then, of course, there's just the killing of toxic love in relationships. And is that really love? You know, what does that actually mean? What does that actually look like?
I waited. He knew his mind would never again be free to romp like the mind of God. That falling in love would change his destiny forever.
So I think maybe I'm going to talk about that a bit. I think I talked about some of those themes, but I didn't quite piece together when I was watching it initially how all that could be interpreted. So now that I'm doing the edit and I'm noticing these things, I just wanted to drop a quick video and talk a little bit about that. And I'm sure that some of my captions will expand further on that. And I guess we'll see if maybe I'm wrong and I do talk about that. And if so, it bears repeating twice, I guess. But there's a lot of different loves that can be examined and, you know, that can be toxic in each of their own ways. So there you go. Back to the video.
Nice collapsed statue behind them.
Feeling like a sinner, it's so far with him. I go boo. He said, "You look crazy, thank you, baby. I'll eat up to you."
I appreciate her flipping into the slightly American accent on the "I look crazy." that was pretty fun.
He said, "You look crazy, thank you, baby. I'll eat up to you."
I love the collapsed statue behind them. Here we've got a little bit more of a white and bluish green color scheme going on. Which is popping well with them, but it really helps the whole space pop out. It looks like ancient ruins, which again, talking about killing love, maybe making the person that you love feel like an ancient memory, something that's collapsed, something that's dead and gone. But it also gives them wide space. We can see that they have vertical lines on either side with a lot of texture to play with. I would imagine that this is a set that was built and then like the background with the statue. That could be practical. You know, this whole set might actually be practical. The shadows are playing pretty realistically, so I'm gonna say that that's a real set. I like that. It's helping that chorus pops. It helps it stand out. We have the explosion at the beginning, so maybe that's what kills the love. It's literally blowing it up, instantly making it feel like it's dead and gone. But we're playing in all these different spaces, which is something Blackpink does. Their music videos tend to be kind of a scatter shot of sets and almost mini scenes happening within them, which I think is really cool. I think it's really artistically inventive, and it always keeps me on my toes. So I think it's neat. We're kind of breaking free of that initial color palette. So let's keep digging in.
Feeling like a sinner, it's so fire with him. I go, woo. He said, you look crazy, thank you, baby. I'll eat all to you. I'm the old messed up, his love is my favorite, but you plus me, sadly, can be dangerous.
Yeah, I like that flip into their head voices there, which I really, really like at the end of both of their phrases. His love is my fave. Right, they're popping up in, and it's only that beginning word. I forget what the second one was, but both of them, even though they have slightly different ranges and you can hear that, one's more of a mix than a full head voice. It still keeps that pop sound, but it's nice. There's a sense of innocence to it, a slight feeling of regret, but there's also kind of a tantalizing aspect. I like the full design too. I like that this set is a little bit more modern. Got some cool makeup going on. I love the streaks on the eyelids. It's putting up these new sets, new costumes, little mini scenes for them.
But you plus me, sadly, can be dangerous. Lucky me, lucky you, can't go get what's in my
Cool. This is getting a little bit darker as we go. Orange to blue. Oh, cool. Come on! What are we doing? A giant bear trap? Who comes up with their sets? They're great. I love them. No, I think this castle's really cool with the stained glass windows shooting the fire at her. Again, fire, this idea of passion and love. I didn't get to see what was on the stained glass window. Oh, it's a heart. Yeah, okay. So we get this heart and literally shooting fire at it. It's like they're taking turns killing each other, which is fun, I guess.
You know, just as I'm editing, something I wasn't really looking for when I was watching this, and this is where being familiar with the members of the group helps. I was not looking for them being the same person. The pursuer and the pursued being the same person, which is an interesting metaphor. And again, I brought up Gatsby earlier, and there's only the pursuing, the pursued, the busy, and the tired. I didn't realize that this is the same person, and I tried to look up their names. I think it's Jisoo, maybe, who was, I talked about the sacred imagery and the headpiece, and now she's the one running through the castle and the archer. And there's something really interesting about that. And I also noticed that there was a lyric early on that was like, "Well, I force myself to cover my eyes." And then this one's, "Well, I force myself to hide my tears." And so there's different ways of like denying toxicity or trying to, bury that pain. And so they're killing that part of themselves that is refusing to accept that they're worth it, that they're worthy. And I think that's very cool. So it's just something I didn't really pick up on while I was watching it. I didn't realize they were the same people because I'm still not, I don't know their names, I don't know their faces yet. So I'm still learning. Apologies for that. But I picked up on it here. So back to the video.
Dealing with a lot of sets, we're kind of dealing with similar color schemes. I love the slow-mo orange and blue world, but we're getting back into that scheme now. So we jumped out of it for that first chorus. Now we're jumping into a giant bear trap. So again, you think about like walking through the woods, should be this pleasant thing, but there's a trap that's there waiting, right? So that's kind of what this whole love feeling is. Like, oh, I don't like feeling weak. I don't like doing all this. So when the moment comes right, I'm going to spring this trap. I'm going to shoot this arrow, even though we've got this stained glass window of love. Again, the visual ties are so good. And I'm not talking much about their voices, but I love their sound. I love the sound they produce. I love the mix of it. I love the orchestration of the whole thing. I think Blackpink, pretty much all my workouts are like Blackpink and BTS. And every Blackpink song I've heard, like it's, BTS, it's like, okay, well, Life Goes On isn't really on my workout playlist. Every Blackpink song I've heard is on my workout playlist. Every one of them. When I'm not listening to NPR podcasts while I work out. Which is not nerdy at all. Love that headpiece. So cool. Love that roll on the R. Nice Dutch angle. Nice. I love this. I talked earlier about being isolated with the percussion. Something I didn't really notice how much more they had added into the orchestration. Talking quickly with cinematography, if you've seen The Fabelmans, you know what I'm talking about. You generally want high horizons, low horizons in the background. So this bear trap is cool because it's all these low horizons. Also looks like a heart. So bringing in that swan world from earlier, they're all standing on the trigger of the trap. That's where we're sitting for the chorus, which is super cool. Now we're getting into this almost military, you could say marching band, but it feels a little bit more militaristic in the approach of the song itself. This sound as they're coming in with, this grimy, broken down alleyway that they're in on a Dutch angle. Everything's kind of off kilter now. So we have all this graffiti that's playing out, much more blue in the frame as we get there. So again, they're surprising us. They're still keeping in a similar scheme. Everything's kind of played on this red to purple scheme, and they had some blue earlier, so they're putting a little bit more of it in now. Particularly in that blue and orange world where everything was kind of slow-mo. We've been seeing a lot more blue. But the design of this it's absurd on two levels. It's absurd because it's so good, but it's also like absurdist. Like the sets are huge and they're overdone and they're way too big. And it's perfect. I love it. I love what they're doing with it. It makes them look small because the sets are a little bit too big. Like this bear trap is huge, but it also makes them intensely powerful. So powerful. Notice the vowel here on cry. When she says, we all commit to love that makes you cry. You can hear her go, cry. She's going cry, not cry. That makes you cry. It's because it's got this very straightforward staccato approach. We all commit to love that makes you cry. It lets her pick a pure vowel on it. There's no diphthong happening here. There's no I. It's ah. And then she's cracking off a little bit. Cry. But she's taking a very clean vowel approach here, which underscores that punctuation that she's putting into the performance, accenting everything. We all commit to love. And she does it on inside too. Listen for that. That makes you cry. Oh. Okay, there's the organ in the background. I always want their songs to be like 5 minutes longer. Gosh dang, they're good. Yeah, I mean, I loved it. I always love it. I love everything that they do. I think that they're really great. I know that's not a surprise to anyone, but it's how I feel. No, they're amazing every time. I love the aggression. I love the straightforward vocal approach, the staccato, especially there at the end. Much more full sound on the last chorus. We must kill this love. I don't know if they were saying must the whole time. So adding a sense of urgency to the whole thing. Now they have all these background dancers, a staircase ascending up to the organ, almost like this is our hymn or our her, so to speak. That's a little English pun for you. Like I said, this sacred sense of love, of sacrificial love, almost being turned on its head. Oh, because there's this love, we have to kill it because it will hurt us regardless. So it's the idea of sacrificial love turned on its head, which I think is very compelling and very entertaining. And I really, really enjoyed that approach. I love the color scheme. I love the costumes, which I'll probably leave some captions about. I didn't talk much about them, but the whole design of everything was amazing. I love the song itself. I hope you enjoyed my analysis reaction to it. And thank you so much for watching. Please, 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 please drink lots of water, take naps, eat snacks, take care of yourselves, practice self-care. Do what you gotta do because life is really hard sometimes. I just spilled water down my shirt. See what I mean? Life is really, doesn't always go in your favor. Okay, take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Bye. Good.